We're recording. This is Wrong Speed Record Chat number 26. And we have Mr. Simon Keeler.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. It's a lovely sunny day and I'm inside.
Yes, sorry about that. Where are you?
I'm at home, working from home today, although this is a day off kind of working from home. So it's a day off doing stuff, but I will end up doing some work. At my dining table, which is now my work desk at home, in my dining room, which has now become a dumping ground for everything work-related.
Good. It's good to see. And your work is Forte Distribution, which you started, correct? Yeah. Yeah. We did that in 2005. But all I've ever done is this. So is record distribution.
Yeah. Because I can't play music, so.
That's right. You're based in. I looked it up.
We're on the Welsh border. We're half the warehouse is in Wales, and the office is in Herefordshire. So the border goes straight through. So it's quite bizarre.
All right. Okay.
It's near Monmouth.
It's just on the A40. I looked it up. It's just on the A40, right above the bridge there.
Yeah. Just past Whitchurch. Turn left. It's in a deer park. There's it's an amazing place really, because it's like a 72-acre deer park, and in the middle is this stately home which some wacky count owned in the 1700s. And then there's a concert hall there which the BBC used to do live concerts, and that's something I've always said to people, you should come and check it out, because the acoustics are amazing. Never been to a concert, but it looks nice and it sounds nice inside. But they used to make CDs there in the 80s, and it was one of the first. Nimbus is based there, and it's one of the first CD manufacturers in Britain. And I went to school in Monmouth, and all the kids around my age in 83, 84, 85 got jobs there, part-time jobs there. I didn't, because I lived the other side of Monmouth and it was a ball late to get there. So bizarrely, they all had CDs but not CD players in like 86, you know. Like one of them was like, oh, look what I've got. And they're going, how'd you play it? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I have no idea. But they was like at the forefront of that, and they were massive. And then of course it all changed. I don't know what happened. Something in the 90s changed, but they were massive worldwide. And now they're a dedicated. They make very flash CDRs in this stately home, and they manage and publish a load of classical catalogue. We have the first floor there. We moved there 10 years ago. We have the first floor there, overlooking the river. You know, the landlord said, oh, well, if you want to go fishing for salmon, you can go whenever you like. Really? Okay. In my lunchtime.
I looked, just as an aside, I looked it up. You're a 1 hour and 30-minute drive from the front door. Because I live down in Somerset.
From London?
Right, I live in Somerset.
I've done it in 127.
Yeah. No, yeah. So, but I'm next to Glastonbury. So for me, it's drive up the bridge.
Oh, so what? You're only 1 hour 20, 30 from here.
Yeah.
I thought you'd been closer. That's weird, because we can do Bristol in an hour. So you what? 30 from Bristol.
Yeah, about south there. Yeah. So, do you, out of interest, and this is coming from someone who briefly worked in record distribution, and I know how it's gone with Cargo and a few other places. Do you also have a warehouse of records that you distribute, or have you farmed that out to a different?
Basically, we all do it on site. I understand that that's a very good way of doing it, and yeah, a load of the distros do that now, and I think we're one of the very few that don't. But we're not massive like that. We don't pump out 28 releases a day. But because I've done this so long, the feel of the shipment coming in, you see what you've got, then you kind of translate that to the shops, and then you pack it and get it to the shops. So if it's damaged, it's your fault when it gets to the shop. If there's a picking error, it's your fault. Never my fault, it's always someone else's. But although when it is my fault, I try and make excuses that are amazing, but I've always preferred that, and I can see it working if you want to get, you know, it's hard to name names without offending people, you see. So I'll just choose a blanket name. Say you want to get the Foo Fighters album in the charts. It won't be the Foo Fighters, but think of a big record at one of those big indie distros.
Yeah.
Proper, PS, Cargo, Southern, Shell Shock. You want to get it in the charts. You want to get it in all the little nooks and crannies, shops that order every day or every 2 or 3 days from the big, your Sinrams or your, can't remember the other one, or Proper, because Proper have it now. They've got like a 20 million acre warehouse space down in Dartford, which is fantastic. But to me, it kind of doesn't work for what we do. You know, I can have Nigel from Rough Trade phone up saying, oh, fucking hell, Keeler, we need blah, 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 there, and there, and we can get it out within 20 minutes. It's out the next day and they got it. And yeah, we don't have the, you know, I'm just going to think of an example this week. Molly Nielsen reissue. I'm not going to put that in HMV, and I'm not going to put that in every single store around the country, because it doesn't need to be in 6 stores within the Manchester area. It only needs to be in the one place.
Yeah.
And of course, now that the shops are open again, we need to be we're quite a small distro. We need to be quite in there with our stuff, so that if we're in every shop in that locale, the stuff that we distro doesn't get focus. I might be talking absolute cobblers here, but this is what I believe. Doesn't get the absolute focus that that 1 or 2 shops in that area would give.
But but you've got like, when did you start working in distro? Like early 90s, late 80s?
1988.
Yeah. So you have like 30 plus years of experience. So
yeah, thanks for that. Yeah.
No, but like, you know, so you run your thing and you do it, you know, and it's interesting to me because you're based so far out of London, you know, the big cities. So I wonder if I was wondering if maybe it was just like warehouse space. I don't
think you'll find any big distro hub in a big city anymore.
No, that's it. Because I know that like they might have office spaces in cities, but then because I worked at SRD for like about a year or 2, and we were based in Tottenham, and it was all on one floor of a dressmaking factory or whatever.
Yeah, I did a couple of weeks there. Like hell, mate, hell on earth.
Well, yeah, the sort of the drum and bass was relentless, like enormously loud. Like half the staff there were like taking ecstasy, like jumping around, like it was
no.
But actually, like it was
surely not.
But it was like a daily rave. Like it was insane. But that was a big space in Tottenham. Now would be probably like, I don't know, like 5 times as much to have. So they've moved out to wherever they've moved to, right?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, the space that we've got is pretty much the same size, maybe a bit smaller, of the space that Cargo had when I was at Cargo, when they were at Heathman's Road, when they had the warehouse downstairs and the offices upstairs.
Yeah.
And I would estimate that the rent we pay for a year is probably what used to be paid for a month there. So it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course.
I like it. I like it. Keep it all in hand. Keep
yeah. I mean, it's hard work because you can't really kind of detach, but it's what I do. It's what we do. So
yeah,
it's good. I like it.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
It can be painful when the sleeves turn up dented from the supplier, and you're just like, fuck you. But and then you have to get someone in to sleeve them, generally a child. And
well, I've got a list here of some of the labels that you do.
Oh no.
No, but all of them, because I was like all of them are really proper good labels to my mind. Like,
yeah.
You haven't got any duds here, so I'll just quickly run through a few of them. So you got In the Red.
In the Red, possibly one of my all-time favorite labels. been his distributor here in the UK since 1994, I think.
Right, yeah.
Brilliant.
Castle Face.
Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Amazing label. Great fun.
Yeah.
They're trying to do a Willy Wonka kind of thing with all the coloured vinyl variants, which is great because people like that. But they're not just the OC's label. They do all these other things. There's this. Oh, I didn't pick it out. But there's a band called Population 2 or 4 from Canada, which is amazing, but it hasn't sold very well here. But there you go.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter if it's good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Third Man.
That's a split one. We kind of do we do some of their licensed stuff. Like we've got the Captain Beefheart album that they do on our catalogue, which is fantastic. We've got all the White Stripes singles, which amaze me that they sell 20 to 30 each a week, every week. The only 7-inches that I've ever seen in the past decade sell more than 100 copies. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And we get occasional bits from them. We don't get them real meat and potatoes. We just get the gravy, and sometimes the gravy can taste nicer. Ooh.
A label that I like is Bada Bing.
Oh yeah. Worked with them a long time. Yeah. He did. Yeah. He did our biggest selling record.
Right. Yeah. Well, I've got one here, and so I think that this is on Bada Bing.
Yeah, that's on Bada Bing. I licensed that for my label at Cargo in 1999 as well, or 2000 as well.
It was Comets on Fire.
Yeah.
Field recordings from the Sun. And as an aside, this is, although I don't remember it, this is possibly we might have met in 2005 at a Comets on Fire gig in Brighton. Possibly.
We did. We did because Tim introduced us.
Right. Okay. Cool. Nice.
Although I only knew Tim very vaguely then, so that's very weird. So Tim must have known. It was a bit of a it was a wild evening. Has to be said.
Well, Tim and I worked at Vital at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I went from SRD to Vital, another record distributor, a more boring record distributor, one could argue.
No, not at all. They did. They formed out the ashes of. Well, they formed out of Revolver APT, didn't they?
Yeah. So, but I was just in an office. But anyhow, so I was working at Vital, and then Colossus played with Comets on Fire in Brighton. Phil put it on, so Phil's episode 13. So go back and watch it, although we don't talk about it. It was at the Free Butt, in theory, in Brighton, but it got moved to the Hobgoblin, and it held 50 people. And it was memorable.
Upstairs, I remember.
Yeah, and how good were Comets on Fire?
Incredible. Yeah, but you guys were good too. I'm trying to remember. Did you have 2 drummers upstairs?
No. I don't think we've ever had 2 drummers.
So why was I thinking there was 2 drummers? Or was there 2 drum kits were set up, weren't they? Yeah, they had your trio's drum kit set up, and then yours was. Yeah. That was ridiculous.
It was a tiny venue, and there were people snaked down the stairs who couldn't get in, and it felt like one of those sort of gigs that would get talked about.
It was brilliant.
Still talking about it, so yeah.
Wild. They were just.
Yeah.
Incendiary, like an incendiary bomb dropped amongst the boring, leveled American indie rock of that time. Like that 2004, 2005. They kind of came along.
Yeah, because this record in particular, like, completely rages in a really marvelous way, I think. But yeah, so. That gig was amazing, and the story is that because we had the sound man who did that gig was a total nightmare and was like a whole turn it down sort of guy, which was not working with us and certainly wasn't working with Comets on Fire.
No, I can't imagine. I can imagine they just turned around and went, "Fuck off."
Yeah, exactly. It was a red rag to a bull, and the story is that Comets on Fire locked the sound man in the toilet at the end of the night.
Did it really?
That's the story.
I didn't know that. That is brilliant. I'll ask Ethan because we do his label. But I'll ask him because he's. God, I've got a recording of it because they did all the recordings and they handed all the. he released it on his label. Ethan did. It was like some like screen printed bit of folded thick card, and all it is amazing. I love it. It's just, and when they played at I think they had some for sale at that ATP that you have in your poster. That was astonishing. I think that was peak Comets on Fire for me, that gig there in your poster.
Right, yeah. But yeah, and then I don't know, they went to Sub Pop, and I did get the next record, Blue
Cathedral. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Like that.
I dropped off after that. I don't know what happened to them.
Avatar goes off into the bing bing.
Yeah.
But when they brought it live, I mean, I think they kind of parachute in to do occasional live things now and then. They haven't done for a few years, but I think up to 2013 they would parachute in, do this. Yeah. All 5 of them haven't seen each other for 6 months or something. Plop on stage, do a sound check, sound like the wildest unkempt noise. Stooges, MC5, Sun Ra, boom, and it was amazing. Always amazing.
Yeah,
love them.
What's Ethan's label called?
Silver Current.
Silver Current. Okay, and you do that?
Yeah. Cool. Oh, yeah, definitely. He's I think he started it primarily to put a lot of his stuff out, but he started putting other things out. He's doing the new Growing record, which is just like,
wow,
it's really just great. It's just like 2 tracks of just like heavy amp driven drone. And
okay, yeah, I've got a Growing. Yeah, it's got like I can't remember, the sleeve is kind of a wishy-washy flying saucer attack thing, but Growing is written in a slightly embossed way at the top.
Oh, is that on Cranky?
I was going to guess at Cranky.
Yeah, that must be Cranky. Yeah, because I saw them. I don't know that one, but I remember seeing them at Supersonic in 2010, maybe earlier than that.
Right.
And their album on Trouble Man had just come out. Trouble Man Unlimited had just come out, and it was more like this kind of. It was a bit like Blank Mass before Blank Mass. You know, it had that kind of that banging, almost a techno element to it, and it was live. They had these twinkly lights, and I'd had a couple of beers, and I thought, yeah, we were pretty decent, yeah, and it was really good, really fantastic. So when Ethan, I hadn't got the Cranky ones. The thing with distro is, don't listen to as much of other distro stuff.
Right.
If you've got loads, it's a bit.
That's, as I said to Phil in a previous episode, is one of the things we used to do at Vital and SRD is you'd get the stock, you'd take it to Music Video Exchange, you'd exchange it for tokens, and then you would buy other bits and bobs. But also, like, and maybe I'll edit this bit out. No, I'm not going to edit it out.
Don't edit it out.
We would also take them to certain shops who would just trade straight up. Yeah.
I'm not going to mention anything about that.
But like, yeah,
H&B were easily mugged over. Oops.
Yeah. So that's
my wife has the entire X-Files DVD selection because of that.
I'm not going to edit it out.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take our stock to the shops. Maybe you should edit this out. I don't know. Actually, no, it's what everyone does. I had friends that worked at major labels and other distributors, and they say, have you got anything good? I say, yeah, I'm doing this, something on In the Red or Sympathy for the Record Nursery, or this was at Cargo, and things like that, or Sweet Enough in the stuff that I was doing. Yeah, I've got a couple of these. I said, if I send a cab over, can you put them in? I was there going, yeah, all right. Send a cab over with a box full of promos for me of this major label stuff. I'd be like, so I'd give stuff out to people at Cargo or at Forte, you know, or wherever. And the stack I would have, then that is the stuff that I would take to into the shop after I'd taken all the promo stickers off. And that's where we'll leave it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. And the music industry died around us. Why is that?
But then it was CDs, and the CD is the biggest con ever. I mean, I love CDs. I absolutely love them. They're easy to distribute as well, right? Unless dual cases go out singly crushed. But they cost fuck all to make. Yeah. So when you're selling a CD, no wonder it died on its ass. When you're selling a CD, oh yeah, it's going to be an $8.99 dealer. It's like, no, mate, no. let's make it 580 dealer, so it retails for a tenner, and then we'll sell more, and people will buy it. And people, no, 8.99 has to be. No, mate.
It's what we did. The Colossus record dealer price is a double CD.
Yeah.
You're
gonna really embarrass me now.
No, it's $5.99 dealer price.
Oh, what kind of sleeve have you done that in?
A gatefold one, like the vinyl.
But just card, not like that super duper one.
No, not super heavy, but it's quite nice. You know, it's not like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, $5.99 dealer, and then because
where'd you make those?
Same place.
Oh.
Yeah, Mob and Eco, and I just want.
But CDs are amazing. I mean, and that's the other thing is like you could take a bag of CDs to a secondhand shop. I remember when I lived in Wimbledon, there was one in Wimbledon, and I'd go in with a bag of CDs. You'd get the trade. And he had all these secondhand impulse CDs there. And I'd be like, I don't know anything about this label, but they're £5 each. And I've got 60 quid in trade. So I'd go home and it's amazing. And that'd be the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I
love CDs. I got no problem with CDs. You know,
I do love vinyl, but CDs are, I mean, yeah, vinyl everywhere.
Yeah, same. But I've got CDs all over the place myself. So I've got any in here. Yeah, well, this is one of my favourite CDs, and someone needs to do it on vinyl. And I'm looking at you.
Oh my God!
12.
I distributed that. Yeah, we distributed that.
Yeah, $12.99 from Rough Trade, probably 20+ years ago.
No, it's 2001, early 2000. It was January 2000, and I did the press on it. And there was, in those days, nothing came out in January. Nothing major came out in January. Vision creates a new sun. Oh,
yeah. So that is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was 20. I think it was 19. I think it was 2000. Yeah, because it was the year before. Oh, did you ever see the Japanese remix ones?
Oh no, I don't think so. No.
Oh fuck! I should have brought those down. When John Hamilton went to Japan with maybe Part Chimp in 2003, he said, "What do you want anything?" I was like, because he worked at Cargo at the time. I said, "All the Borden's Japanese remix CDs," and he came back with them. Yeah. Oh, look at that! It's amazing. I know, double album, beautiful. It's been tried.
Why not?
It's been tried. It's Warner's Japan. It just won't happen.
But they would they could do it. Nice sleeve, Obi strip, charge 50 quid. People would buy them.
I know, but it won't happen because Warner's Japan have some kind of hold on that, and then there's the one before it. I think there's Vision Creation New Sun, and there's the other one. But Birdman got to do them in the States.
Something.
Which one?
Chocolate something or other.
No, that was the one prior to that. That was their major label debut, I think. Right. But of course, Warner's in the. I mean, yeah. First time I heard the Boredoms was on Shimmy Disc, and I didn't even know what was going on. It was just like
I got that record. I got that record downstairs.
Love them, but that record, Vision Create. That's one of the greatest records of the last 30 years. It's just amazing.
It really is. So yeah, Birdman. I got this is a version.
Birdman is run by this guy that used to be the A&R at Warner's, the guy who signed Mudhoney to Warner's. He thus had the in to the Warner's machine, so he was able to pull that one off.
Yeah, there's the year. Don't know if you can see that. 2000.
2000, yeah. But yeah, so no one was releasing big records at that time. So I'd sent it to Enemy, and the Enemy was a massive thing then. And they gave it a huge 7 out of 10 review, and we just plowed copies out. It was amazing. Yeah. Really good, really good time. Good times.
It just happened that this is the one CD I've got in here actually, but yeah. And I say to other people, I love keeping the stickers on. That
is good. I like that.
People take them off.
$12.99.
Yeah, people take them off, but I'm like, no, $12.99. Rough trade.
They would have paid Cargo $7.29 less 10% discount for that.
Right, so they've made about £3, whatever.
No, oh no, they'd have made
$6 maybe.
Yeah, they'd have made more than Cargo. Cargo would have made, I don't know, it probably cost $6 to brick, $7 to us, and at that point the dollar was 1.9 or something. So we were selling it him. Yeah, I mean Cargo was still making good, a nice margin, 25%.
CDs. There you go. There's the
Oh, shall I show you my favourite CD?
the one argument for CDs right there.
Yeah, it is. That is. I'm trying to think my favourite CD. I didn't pull a favourite CD out, but this one's coming out in June.
Oh,
I've
nice.
just done the pre-sales for that. That's my favourite at the moment.
Right. Okay, cool.
Archival double CD, Lipstick Killers. Oh, but we'll get onto that kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's start talking about records anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Hit me with a record from your favourite record shop, please.
Being a distributor, one has to be very careful what one does.
I love all my record shops.
I could tell you stories about record shops I don't like and the reason why. Or I could just, growing up in Monmouth, small market town, Welsh borders, there wasn't much going on. And there was a record shop that was open till I was about 13, 14, called Round Ear Records, run by this guy who now lives in Brighton. One of the, he's an amazing music purveyor, I think is the best phrase there. And he had this shop on Church Street in Monmouth, and then you go in and I stole a badge from there once, which was bad. I told him years later, and then he never gave me a discount again. But he was a punker. He was really into the Clash, but also really into Bruce Springsteen, I seem to recall. And he would order stuff in for people. I mean, it was like, you'd open the door, 13, you know, I live in a village where there's 6 horses and 2 cows. You walk into the shop and it's just like dark T-shirts, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Clash of Pistols, Ramones. And, you know, yeah, but just going, oh, unbelievable, amazing.
Sounds like Top Man nowadays.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Oh, I have that Ramones T-shirt. Which album do you like? Now 28. But
The best of.
Yeah, the best of course. Yeah, the one called Johnny. So I go in there and I remember buying records from him. I can't remember. Didn't have money, was tight. I remember getting Led Zeppelin's In Through the Outdoor from him because that was the only Led Zeppelin record that I bought as a punter as it came out.
Right.
What a fucking letdown that was. I like it a bit now, but at the time I was like, oh. And I was like, I think I was 13 or 12. I think I was 12. That was one of the first records I bought.
Right.
Didn't last long. They had a second-hand section, and there was this ubiquitous, you know, I didn't have much money then, ubiquitous stack of Uriah Heep albums. I remember buying Magician's Birthday because the sleeve was incredible. I was like, whoa. Played it when I got home. Oh, God.
More shit.
Of course, years later, everyone's saying to me, oh, I can't believe you don't like that album. It's like, no, I don't, and I will not like it. It's shit. But I think he closed down, and then he had a market stall in the square at the top of town, and he was buddies with all the people that went and recorded at Rockfield Studios, which was amazing to see these long hairs walking on the street, and they said, John, hello, mate, and he'd be like, oh, rifling through his records. And I think the record that means the most from him was, I was 17, and there was no gigs. I didn't get to go to gigs because we lived in a tiny village outside 5 miles out, and I couldn't get anywhere. But I'd heard about, well, this is where we go into thrash metal, I guess. I'd heard about this band Metallica, and I'd heard a couple of tracks, and I'd read about them, you know, Sounds, Kerrang. Oh my God, read it in W.H. Smith before going to school. Who's this band? They look amazing. Oh, you know, I was a metaler. I bought AC/DC records. I was into Motorhead, and I liked a bit of Venom. And I said to him, I said, are you getting this? He goes, no, it's a bag of shit. And I was like going, can you order it for me? Are you taking a fucking piss? I was like, please, can you order it for me? How much is it? It was like £8. I said, I've got £2 here. I'll put a deposit down. A deposit on a market stall, £2.
I remember.
And yeah, and then he took the deposit down, even though he thought it was a bag of shit. And he proceeded to order it for me. I mean, it was July '84, so I probably got it the last week of July, the week after it came out. I was 17. I'd finished the first year of sixth form. It was horrible. I was growing my hair, going to party, trying to find a second Saturday job, or trying to find a job. And I was cutting grass and then raised pennies. And I go back a couple of weeks later, because I bought that fucking record for you. And they're going, oh, brilliant, brilliant. And he pulls it out. Look at them. What a bunch of wankers. I was there going, because he was super punk, you see, and I was metal. And I was like, yeah, but it's meant to be really good. Nah, it'd be rubbish. I don't do anything. So I bring it home, I play it, I drop the needle, I was like, it was game changer, absolute game changer. Of course, I can't put it out because I don't have it anymore.
No.
Because I sold it in 1993 for about 600 quid. That was, it was battered to hell, but it was fully autographed, you see. So I'd seen them in '86, and I sold all their records. That's what I did. I kind of flogged records then to pay the rent and go and travel. However, so that is the most important record memory from that shop, from that time. And everyone that I hung out with at that time, that record is shit, Keeler. That is shit. They are shit. Megadeth's better.
Okay, two things. Two things. One, what record? And two, Megadeth will never better. Yeah, right. Lightning, of course.
I mean, that is my favorite album of all time. Absolutely favorite album of all time.
And interestingly, so if that's coming out then, and the punk people were like, no, like how many punk bands got influenced by that record? And then like the crossover scene happened a year or so later in America. I
think the crossover scene probably came more so from, I mean, I might be talking out my ass here. You could ask people like James Sherry would know this better because he was more into that stuff, but the crossover scene probably came more from the hardcore and influencing the metal than the metal influencing the hardcore, I think.
Right.
I mean, if you think this lot were probably influenced more by, I know I'm showing a shitty CD, there is a reason for that. First CD I ever bought, you see, was that in Singapore. So quite, with my first ever CD player. Yeah. But in 1990, by the way, anyway, but I think that metallic clatter and that kind of that speed, although it might have come from your Motorheads and new wave of British heavy metal, there was definitely your Discharge and GBH. I'm not really a fan of the 70s punk so much. Sorry, heresy there. Oh dear. But I was 10 when the Pistols album came out, so I'm not really a massive fan of it, even though I love the Saints, so I don't know that one. But anyway, I think bands like that took us, I don't think they influenced the punk as much as the punk influenced them. Oh, that's the tagline. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, I don't really know the order of play. I just know that only about 85, 86, there was an enormous mixture.
Oh, it's amazing. It was an amazing time. I left home, and then this was just going.
Yeah.
And then Slayer put Raining Blood out.
Yeah.
So, and it was game over.
Yeah. So I asked around, and I was told that this is one of your bags. So I picked out a couple of. See, I'm
53, so you must be what, 47?
I'm exactly 47. 4 days ago.
Well, happy birthday!
Thank you very much. I got Mob Rules by Black Sabbath on vinyl for my birthday. My son. As an aside,
that actually, I'm not a massive Dio fan, but that's actually his.
It's a brilliant record. Yeah, it's a brilliant record. Yeah. So I did pick out a couple of like say 3 or 4 of my favorite thrash albums, but I'm very mainstream with my taste because I was 14 at the time. Okay, so 19
mainstream.
Yeah, well, this is it. So I've gone Master of Puppets.
Oh.
I love this record, and I know it's not the earlier one, but it is also before and Justice for All, so that's fair play. Love that record.
Oh, that. I mean, if it wasn't for that, that would be my favorite album of all time.
Yeah, I absolutely love this record still. Like if I put it on, like there's nothing comes close to Battery. That sort of thing. I also love specifically side A, if I'm to be Beneath the Remains.
That's a great record. That is a brilliant record for them. Yeah, that was what, 89 when they first played it, wasn't it?
Yeah, 89. And what and I spoke to Jimmy Martin of the rock band Teeth of the Sea.
I know Jimmy.
But we talk about this photo a lot. And
look at those skate pants that he's wearing though. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous.
How weird.
That's not tight black trousers and white boots, is it? It's we take it to another level.
But like, that was a very influential photo. Really weird.
Really?
Yeah, for us, for 14-year-olds. I
suppose, yeah.
You know, there was something about it, and it was the mystery of being from Brazil as well.
Oh God, I mean, when they came and played, and they didn't have all their earlier albums on the merch desk. I remember it. They played with Sodom, and they destroyed Sodom. And Sodom were okay, but they destroyed them. I mean, they just came on, and they were just hungry, fast, brutal, heavy. It was amazing.
They were the first like non-British speaking like band like this that I'd heard. Consequently, it was just really exciting. The accent of his voice and that picture.
Oh no, it's brilliant.
It looked like mystery. Yeah. That just looked like absolute mystery.
I don't think that. I think that must have been the first, Brazilian kind of or South American band that I actually heard. I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then once you dig in, you're like, okay, yeah, there is more. But these were the ones that broke through because they were like Road Racer records, Road Runner, Road Racer, right?
Road Runner's European Arm or something.
Yeah. And I'm going to save that one. And I love it. This is my favorite album of the. It's not my favorite album of the Big Four, but it's definitely my favorite album by this band, and I love it. It's among the.
Oh, that's great! I like it. I saw him on that tour. It was good.
Yeah. And
I'm an old fart, and I prefer Spreading the Disease because Madhouse is just this. And but that album is good. I saw him a bunch on that tour.
Yeah, I love this record. And unfortunately, I saw him on the next tour. By which point they're wearing.
Is that the I'm the man? I'm the man.
That was around that time.
We are the law. We are. Is that on that tour?
I am the law.
Actually, no, that's that tour, isn't it? Oh shit!
Yeah, no, but this was good because it was the one after where they did the. They were wearing Bermuda shorts and shit like that, and it sort of sucked a bit. But the record I wanted
they'd taken the crossover angle a bit too far, and they'd taken it to Hawaii and partied too much with the pina coladas on that one.
But the record I wanted to bring up with you. Because Jimmy Martin told me to. Hello, Jimmy.
Let me guess. Are they Canadian? Are they absolutely fucking incredible sci-fi power thrash prog? The only time I will ever listen to a prog record with tinges of metal and thrashing punk involved. And every album from the first one, they developed into this absolute beast. And their music kind of expanded as my music taste grew.
Yeah.
Voivod then.
Yes. and he told me to ask you about them and your thought and seeing them and whatever else.
I don't think we've got enough time. We haven't got enough time. Sorry. Back to 85, this compilation came out called Speed Kills. And if we've got time, we'll touch on compilations because I think compilations are one of the most important release avenues in the music industry because they provide gateways, even back to like your Metal from Mothers, which you pick up for $1.99 in Woolies, so you could hear what Gillan sound like in 1982. But Speed Kills came out in 85, and I think it was before I went to college, and I went to Portsmouth. Before I went to Portsmouth, and on that record, I don't have it. Of course, again, I don't have those records. I sold them, regrettably. There was Voivod, Metallica, Fight Fire with Fire. That was I love that record. I'm going to get that. Anthrax were on there from the first album, actually, with Neil Turbin singing. But it had all these other bands on there, along with Voivod, like a load of the German ones, like Celtic Frost into Crypt of Rays was on there, which is a riff-destroying masterpiece. And then there was bands like Destructors or Destructor, who were shit, and Bulldozer, or maybe they were Volume 2. But anyway, it was I'll try and bring it up the track listing somehow. But it was a real, this is speed metal. This is thrash metal, It's not. There's none of that black metal bollocks around. It was just, this is speed or thrash metal, and it had this crossover, and they all had hair, studs, bullet belts. I mean, white boots, tight black jeans. The look I was going for, and it was great. But Voivod with this kind of, we all had that. I had that look. Yeah. I stopped pretty quick in about 85, 86, but those boots were cheap as well, so that's all you wore. And then I wore Doc Martens and whatever. But it was that look. I remember the make of the jeans as well, because they had a bit of elastine in them, so they were like even tight. They were called Blitz. They were 10 quid down at the Portsmouth Pyramid Centre. Yeah, that's it. Oh my God. Don't have that look now. I'd look like ridiculous, and the kids would laugh at me more than usual. Anyway, so Voivod's track was like this real heavy. Is it Warriors of Ice that was on there? I think it was, but it had this primal kind of like fuck you on it, and I was like, wow, this is punk. Of course, all the punks thought it wasn't punk, and all the metalers thought it was shit. Xavier Russell famously gave it their first album a terrible review. They are shit. So early '96, the second album came out, Raw, and it was like an amazing step up. It was just kind of this really incredible, not thrash metal. They weren't thrash metal, and they were just like this metal tinged hardcore kind of power band. It's amazing. And they came and played. They did a tour, and it was late '86. Again, still have the poster, and late '86, and it was at the Electric Ballroom. It was Possessed, who everyone was really excited to see, Voivod, and in Germany they had Death Row, who were rubbish. But in England, luckily we had the English Dogs. Brilliant. Not my bag. And we went up from Portsmouth on the train. We'd had a party in our house the night. This is I'll skip that actually. And we went up on the train, got there, and it was only about 250 people, 300 people maximum. And we're in there, and the English Dogs played. Not my bag, didn't like it. A pint of beer was my bag. Bought a t-shirt, bought a poster. Lovely. Then Voivod came on, and it was a game changer. I mean, I'd seen Metallica a few times on the Master of Puppets tour, and that was brilliant. But Voivod, and then obviously Cliff Burton had died, so the whole dynamic of thrash kind of changed a bit. And Rain in Blood had come out, and that had gone to the limits. So Voivod had playing this, the drumming was otherworldly. And I remember watching it, I was just thinking, this is the best band I've ever seen. And this was a moment, and it was an epiphanous moment, I think. Possessed were good, they're okay, but I think their thunder had been completely stolen by Voivod. So got home on the milk train to Portsmouth, went to college the next day, still Voivod. Tried to shave my head and dye it red, a bit like Blackie's hair looked at that point as well. Terrible moment in fashion there. Got the combat jacket though at that point, the black Italian combat jacket, so I had that kind of, went for that look. Moving away from the kind of the trad metal kind of thing, like a fashion victim that I am, but it was cheap stuff. And then the following year, Killing Technology came out, and I failed college, was kicked out, and had to go and find my own way after that. And Killing Technology, to this day, that's probably in my top 10 albums. Just the way it sounds, it's so, I don't know, it's like space noise metal, I guess.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at the sticker, and I showed this in the Jimmy video, but I'll do it again. I love the fact that it says that on it. Then if you
more psychedelic than ever.
Yeah, nuclear metal warriors.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, brilliant. Yeah. And then in my mind, in my ears, they got better and better and better and better. And I think they peaked. I think Angel Rat is much maligned, but it's a great record. And The Outer Limits is, I still play that at least once every 2 months, at least. But
and they're still doing interesting things.
Oh no, that last album was fantastic, and I should have gone to see him live, but I didn't.
Yeah. So,
but
anyway,
yeah,
I was
fine choice.
I was asked to ask you about that. So that's
God,
interesting.
So
the Electric Ballroom holds about 1,200 people,
and
you say that was a quarter full that night.
Yeah, I'd say that. There was this massive bloke down the front, had the circle going, and it was terrifying. And you'd be like, you're trying to get into the circle to get down the front to kind of thrash about a bit, and you'd end up getting it was like something out of some computer game, get thrown miles across the room, but he'd come over and pick you up. You all right, mate? And be like, of course, if it was a gig now, I'd be that massive bloke then, or I'd be the bloke stood in the back. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. Jealous. Hit me with a record of memories.
See, that's difficult.
Yeah, I know.
Because every record has memories, I think. I could pick Black Sabbath, because the first time I heard that kind of, I was very young, and I was played that by this older person, friend of the family kind of thing, played them.
Yeah.
He was 3 years older than me, and his sisters were 6 years older than him. He played that, and the first the needle dropped, it was like, oh.
Yeah. Let the dog out.
I could play AC/DC. I could pick Led Zeppelin because they were like early ones. I could pick the Beatles because my folks put me on that Beatles trajectory. Beatles, Stones, and Floyd, I suppose. But memories, it has to be the kind of. I watched the Phil Lacey one, and his getting records from places like Parrot, and he pulled out the first Chill single, which I have, and the place that sold the first Chill single to Parrot was possibly my favourite place of work, which was Shigaku, and they'd had a label called What Goes On, and I started work there in 1988, October '88, with Pete Keeley. We started on the same day. I was some T-boy, warehouse bod, and Pete was a label manager. Didn't wear a suit. He was a label manager. He started. He went to Berlin Independent Days. Saw Mudhoney's first European show. Disappeared for a week after that. He did. And then I was ingratiated into this world of music which I'd never experienced or heard of or seen or whatever. I'd heard of some of this, but you know, for my interview, they'd given me things like, they said, come for this interview. I went for this interview, terrified. I was shit at interviews. You know, I had long hair, had a Metallica t-shirt on, probably, or Voivod, turn up, and they were like, do you know this lot? I was like, never heard of them. Do you know this lot? Never heard of them. Take these home. And they gave me these records, which I probably won't be able to find. Oh no, there it is. They gave me this record, the Nomads.
Okay. Record
Outburst, signed as well. Unbelievable. They gave it to me, and I was like, I'd never heard anything like this. This was kind of garage punk from Sweden. So they gave me that, and then they gave me this other one. See, I pulled out Killing Technology here. Can't do that now, can I?
Yeah, you still can. It's fine.
Oh Christ! Can I find that record? Typical. Ah, here it is. And they gave me this one, and this was a real game changer for me. The first Cosmic Psychos EP.
Yeah.
And oh, Matron, it's on. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, it's on red vinyl. Oh, Matron. Oh, when coloured vinyl was cool, not shit. And I took these home and I played them. I was like, yeah, this is great. Yeah, I mean, and I got the job. I just started the job. So they're big memory ones. Yeah. But when I went in to start work there, they were working on this compilation called Beautiful Happiness.
Oh yeah. In
conjunction with Sounds and Shigaku Limited present Beautiful Happiness. And they had Bruce Bolland doing the artwork, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this had And John Peel helped compile this, you know, he helped pick some of the tracks. Alan from Final Solution at the time, he was doing some consultancy work at Chicago, I think, at the time. And the tracks they picked, I mean, this was 88, so this wasn't new to a lot of people, but it was brand new to me. I mean, I was just like, wow. Art Fag, Expando Brain, Halo of Flies, Shadowy Men on a Shadowy Planet, Iowa Beef Experience, Disappointments. Oh, that's an amazing track. Live Skull, DJ Leibovitz doing Helmut in Cambodia. I mean, I love the Dead Kennedys, but that, a bloke playing piano, that's amazing. Naked Ray Gun, Vanilla Blue, one of the great singles. Bullet Volta, Drunks with Guns, with the song Beautiful Happiness. So although I don't play this that often, I think this holds, and I do try and pick this up wherever I see it and give it to people, because it's cheap as chips. I did actually find one to send to you as well, cheap as chips, because that basically opened my mind to that whole grimy, grubby underground of America, and it was just.
You want to talk about compilations?
Yeah,
and like the importance of them, like. You know, I think it still stands, and one of the ones I got was I'm a big fan of soul jazz compilations still. So
fantastic.
So like they release one a month, I reckon, like to keep going. And like with stuff like this, when stuff like this comes, like
would have been nice working at Vital when that stuff came out, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes, and it was. But like these compilations were awesome. They're
beautifully put together.
Yeah. So
there is one turkey in that canon though. When they did the Seattle one.
Oh yeah, no.
Those two are shit.
Yeah, unnecessary, I would say.
Oh.
But then you know there were probably people that didn't know any of that stuff or whatever. But like stuff like this is new to me. So when a compilation,
I've never heard. I haven't seen that one. That looks great.
Yeah. So these sort of compilations, I just think are marvelous. So they're still.
Well, I mean, it gives you a chance to hear stuff that. Only the your Honest Johns or your soul jazz sounds the underground, you know, the soul jazz shops itself, but soul underground
sounds universal.
Got the name right.
Yeah.
But the other thing that they do is the those krautrock comps.
Yeah.
I mean, those soul jazz comps are absolute delicious.
And these are quite you know, soul jazz is quite mainstream in its way, I guess. But there's still definitely a place for compilations.
They're beautifully put together, and there's an identity almost to them. You know, you see them, you think, oh, yeah, 12 quid, I'll buy that.
I love it when they have all the pictures of other compilations on there. It's But so even in this YouTube world, you can still have someone who knows the shit about Latin rock. Cannot listen to and it can just go, okay, yeah, no, that's really good. I'm now going to go.
Yeah, no, it's an introduction. I mean, it's, and that's the main thing about the whole music thing is it's like, it's not an elite. Those compilations like that are not an elitist thing. Oh, I've got the 7-inch test pressing from 1973, and there's 2 of them. Yes, but what's it sound like? I don't know. You know, and then you listen to that and you think, wow. More, please. You know.
I tell you what. I'm okay. So I'm a postman, right? So people get like records in the post all the time, and there's one guy, and he got a Who 7-inch in the post, and it was some rare, expensive Who record, and he kept it in the package, didn't even open the package, and then took it over to the bank and put it in the bank. The bank opposite the sorting office. So he came in, collected it, walked straight across to the bank, and hid it in the bank. And I thought to myself, that is bullshit.
I mean, I've sold a lot of my records, but I've never really gone out of my way to buy, to sell, to keep. Because I want to hear it. I want to know what it's about. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got the record, the vinyl version, months after the CD, and it's gone in a pile, and then I'll find it. Because see, I'm very lucky, and that's something I want to get across. I'm lucky because I'm able to hear and see all this stuff. And now, I suppose before Spotify, I get all this stuff and I'd be like, well, you'd hear it all. Now everyone can do it with Spotify, but as a distributor, you get to hear zillions of things months before it's announced or whatever, and you get it cheap, you get it free, blah blah blah. So that's why I've got so much to rifle through. But sometimes you get LPs and they go to the back of the stack, and you think, oh, I'll play that. 3 weeks later, you've got that much in front of it. 6 months later, there's that much in front of it, and you're just like, you forget about it. And or you might have a CD promo which you just keep playing. That's what happens here, and at work. I've been through the racks, especially when I was thinking some records for this, and I found some things. I was like, oh my god, I've still got that. It's still sealed. Shit. And then you look online how much it's worth. You're like, yeah. But what do I do? I sell it and buy more records. That's what I do. Or buy the reissue of the record that goes for 70 quid.
Yeah, but you do regret selling the records in the early 90s or whatever.
Oh, don't.
Would you like to have Ride the Lightning still?
I got the box set. Sounds great. I've got.
But the one you bought in 1984, would you like to have?
No, it's scratched to fuck. Scratched to fuck. I mean, the only thing I'd want about it is it's got Cliff Burton's autograph on it. Yeah. Because they were brilliant in those days. There wasn't no meet and greet spec. They would meet everyone. They'd sign everything. Yeah. And so I got all my records signed. And in 92, 93, I sold the first 4 albums. I got a lot of money, which I spent mainly on beer in Australia. But I did keep certain records from them, and that I got signed by Cliff Burton. But the signature on the picture disc, right? they've all disappeared.
Oh no!
So this is the first the first pressing of the picture disc. You can, I mean, if you look on the side, but you can't see it visibly. And I was showing my kids today, and Evie's like, "Did you not have marker pens in those days?" And the thing is, there wasn't the Sharpie abundance that there is now. There was just like someone had a texter, and you were just like, "Here you go, sign that, mate." I mean,
biro.
yeah, I signed my picture disc with biro. It's whacked. But you can see their autographs if you look at it in the light, and
yeah.
So I kept that and I sold the others. But whatever. I mean, I'd never sell that because no one would buy
it. Hit me with a bargain find.
Yeah, that's almost back to that Metallica Ride the Lightning thing. Bargain finds for me are like, one time I went to the States, and I was very lucky. I got to go to Austin, and there was a record fair on, and I went there with $100, and I came out with that much. To me, that's the bargain find. Stuff that, one, I think I'd listen to later. Two, old scratchy stuff that no one else cares about. And three, a couple of nuggets that, like the Allman Brothers Eat a Peach double album, $3. $3, you know. Of course, that doesn't happen now. Thank you, Discogs. But that, to me, that's a bargain find because they're not really worth much money. However, again, being in the lucky spot of being a distro, you do tend to get stuff that could potentially become quite rare, like coloured vinyl, you know, that stuff. So I can't consider that a lucky find. Basically, I will sell stuff because it funds buying other stuff, records. Because I try to live off my stuff in the attic and stuff that I buy, whatever. And someone said to me, "Oh, this band, because I like Australian stuff. We'll get to that, I'm sure. But I love Australian stuff." And someone said to me, "Oh, have you heard this band?" I was like, "And name's fucking rubbish, man." And he goes, "No, you'd like it. Check it out online." So I checked out, and it sounded okay. I thought, I'll buy the LP. And I bought the first King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. and the postage was so much for one LP. I bought 2.
Right. Okay.
And it was the first run of 500, blah, blah, blah. And it took a month to get here. Covered in Australian stamps. It was like brilliant. Played it. I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It was good, but it was a bit too. It just didn't gel with me. So I flogged one for quite a bit of money, and then 2 years ago I flogged the last one for quite a bit of money, and that's paid for lots of other stuff. You know, so another bargain find would probably be Coil's Blacklight District album. There was a shop in Newcastle called Surface Noise, which was run by Hass, who used to manage Volume in Newcastle, and we were staying. I was driving the Heads at that point. We were staying at our friend, maybe you know, maybe you don't, Ben Jones. He lived in Windsor Terrace. Bands used to stay at his house. He was amazing.
Right.
And we stayed up all night listening to this Coil record, Blacklight District, dark room. He was smoking loads of weed. I wasn't, obviously. And this record was totally destroying my mind. It was amazing. It was the most freaky psychedelic nightmare ever. And I liked Coil, but this was something else. I said, "Oh, have you got? Where can I get that?" And Hass goes, "Oh, I've got one with a torn corner at the shop." So we went to the shop at 5 in the morning because we had to leave the next day early. Went to the shop at 5 in the morning, I think, and I gave him 20 quid for the record. Blah blah blah. And a few years later, people said, "Oh, that record was worth loads of money." Blah 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 blah. Yes, it was if it was mint, but it had a tear, and so it wasn't. But I sold that last year when the reissue came out. I sold it last year for 120 quid. So that to me is a bargain.
Yeah, Coil records are worth money, aren't they?
Because the reissue only cost me 25 quid.
Yeah, there you go.
And it sounds even better.
Does it still freak you out when you listen to it?
Obviously, there's no added mind lubricant or secondhand smoke involved. So my children will be watching this, I'm sure. So no, not so much. But if it's dark and it's clear light out there and there's a few flashes, yes, it will.
Yeah, I think Coil are awesome. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get onto a few subjects, but we should skip through what we've got here. There's a few things I still want to talk about, but let's talk about Bought on Tour, and maybe this will cover what I want to talk about with you.
Bought on Tour. See, obviously I'm not in a band or anything. I've been on tour with bands. I've driven them. I've merched for them. I went to the States with the Heads. That was exciting. I've been lucky. I've done some touring in Australia. I've done some touring in Europe. I've done Scandinavia. Wonderful. I didn't really buy much stuff on tour because there was never a time to do it. Because on tour with the Heads, we were pretty much there at Soundcheck, and that was it. Maybe when the Heads toured with Motorpsycho in Europe, that was quite fun because they accommodated us in a wonderful way. So I managed to, I don't know if I bought, they gave us records. That was nice. On tour, yeah, I mean that Coil one, I guess that was on tour. So
I wanted to talk about I just dragged one Heads record out for the hell of it, and but there's a couple of things I want to talk about regarding this. Is
why did you drag the bootleg out?
Yeah. Okay, but two things I want to talk about really is one, are you still in any way connected with what they're up to, the band?
Yeah, well, I kind of work on their label. We distribute their label, Rooster. Yeah. So yeah, I had nothing to do with that thing, by the way. That's a bootleg. I had nothing to do with it.
Well, this is the other thing I want to talk about. Because this was a record store day thing.
What they did about? I have no idea. I stuck every one of those fucking sleeves.
Yeah. Well, it's what two things? Well, mainly like, what the hell do you think of record store day?
When it started, it was amazing. Absolutely. I thought this is a breath of fresh air. All the indie distros, all the indie, your dogs come in to listen to about this. Lovely.
He loves Record Store Day, the dog.
Queuing outside for the free sandwiches. When it started, it was an amazing idea, and I thought it was a fabulous concept. And this was pre the flippers, I think. And year one, I don't think, as Forte, I don't think we had that much in year one. Year two, I thought about it a bit more, and we had a couple of records announced that week, and one was the second Wooden Ships album, DOS, which is brilliant. And trying to think of a way to a gimmick Record Store Day, which effectively to get that to more shops. So I spoke to Ripley, and he did a mixed CD which we put with it for Record Store Day, first 1,500. They sold out. It was brilliant, and people were talking about that, and I think that really helped. And then I was very lucky. I'd set up this label, Agitated, and I was talking to, because it's after one of my favourite songs, and I was talking to Sean at Rough Trade, and he goes, "What do you want to do? You want to get the fucking Electric Eel single reissued?" I was like, good idea. And I did. I wrote to them, and they said, "You have to go through our publisher." I was like, "Yeah, fine." And they let me do I'm So Agitated 000 for Record Store Day number 2, was it? I think.
Cool.
So I was just like, wow. And that sold out. And I was like, wow, 7-inch sold. Brilliant. And then the next few after that, great. And then it got to about 6 or 7. And I think the majors really twigged it then. You know, some distributors would have 70 things. It's like, that's too much, right? I'd speak to the shops. I still speak to the shops, and some shops are brusque at best of times, but when you start talking, bring up record store, you know, these are old schoolers, and it is great. It gets, but I don't know if the end product is as rewarding to the secondary and primary people in that chain. Like the shops might make more money than they've ever made before on that day. Brilliant. The punters who bought the limited thing might make more money than they've ever made on eBay ever the next day. The distributor will be on its knees, and the label will be on its knees as well, and all for 25 and 20% of a markup.
Because there's,
I see its place, and I think it's great, and I think it's great to celebrate not just vinyl music in that way, but I think it's become so big now that the initial drive behind it has kind of diluted the real impact.
So I'm in Somerset. There are almost no shops in Somerset, record shops in Somerset. It's total. It's a wasteland.
You've got more there than we have here. That's all I'm saying.
There used to be one in Taunton, and that's gone.
There's one in Frome.
And there's one in Frome. So it's Raves from the
Frome,
Grave.
sorry.
I don't really know. Frome, whatever. There's one in Frome, and there's also one in Warminster. It's the same. So there's 2 Raves from the Grave.
Yeah.
So Black Cat Records in Taunton.
Oh, he was amazing.
That's Phil. I love Phil. He's a great guy.
He was amazing.
Yeah, I used to spend hours in there talking with him. He's a good guy. Hi Phil, if you're watching, and you should be. He embraced Record Store Day in a different way. He didn't really buy any of the shit.
No.
Like but he made a big thing of it for himself. So he would advertise it as Record Store Day, and everything would be like either 10 or 20% discount in the whole shop, and it'd be packed out. It was awesome.
Which is what, in a way, that's how it should. That's what it should have done. Driven people to pile through the racks. Oh, look, there's Metallica Ride the Lightning for £9. I'll have that, as well as that. Oh, the new Wooden Ships album with a bonus mix CD. I'll have that. That's what it was, I thought, meant to do.
Yeah. So, and he'd have bands playing in his shop and everything else. Like we played there once, and some other, you know, for a few years. But Raves from the Grave seem to buy lots of the Record Store Day stuff. And you can go in there today and they'll have Record Store Day stuff from the last whole pile of years. And it's like 10% off, 20% off. And you're flicking through and it's like, I don't want none of this shit. Adamant picture disc in like whatever, Pixar film soundtrack. It's such a depressing box to flick through. Yeah.
I was talking to Chris at work the other day, and we were talking about second-hand record shops, and we were talking about there's a shop near Forte, which I like to go, but they're priced discount price, so it's just like, oh. And Chris came up with this incredible phrase, which maybe I shouldn't say, but that sounds like that box where it's been fingered to death.
Yeah.
And I laughed my head off, although it's quite as well.
So this bootleg you're talking about that I'm not going to raise up again, so we can clip it and talk.
No, you can raise it up. Raise it up. It's funny. It's funny.
Would you have got permission from the BBC?
From the band, yes, I got permission from the band. Yeah.
From the band. But did you?
No comment.
Okay, that's interesting.
Basically, I did get permission. I licensed all the tracks. Well, not all of those, but I have licensed them all now for the band. God, you did pick that one, didn't you? God, that's fucking top of the range. That one, that.
So we don't want to talk about it, is what you're saying?
No, not really. It is a brilliant bootleg, and we sold 600, which is what the plan is. That was great. Of course, there was some of that stuff hadn't been on vinyl. Of course, the stuff from the first album era is now going to be on vinyl as part of something which I suppose by the time this comes out, I can say we're doing a Silver Jubilee version of the first Heads album, which sounds like cashing it in, but I've changed the sleeve totally. And the first LP is on silver vinyl, although it doesn't look very silver to me. And the second LP, we're doing a special one for Norman, because Norman Records has supported the Heads ever since they started, the same month that the first Heads album came out, April '96. So I kind of thought that'd be a nice idea. So he's getting 300, and then we're doing 700 with gatefold sleeve, so it's totally different. And it is an amazing record. I mean, I'm biased, it's the Heads. So, and I'm sure people watching doing the Keeler bingo, Heads, he's done it 6 times now. He's mentioned that. Australia, Metallica, Wanker. But yeah, so we're doing that, and that's exciting. And then the other tracks.
I brought up the Heads. So if anyone is doing that, it's me that brought up the Heads, not you. So
I actually did bring it up first when I said we were in Newcastle. Shit. And the other tracks on there from the last session, which we licensed officially, to come with the box set, which hasn't been announced and won't get announced because I've still got to put it all together, and they've got to do some work too. A box set version of their last album, Undecided, which we're doing as a 4 LP box set, bit like Everybody Knows We've Got Nowhere, but the extra stuff on that is it's amazing. I mean, I am very biased, and they aren't the easiest to work with, but they are all 4 different personalities. So that's 4 people you've got to discuss things with, and they don't all talk and like that, you know. I'm a wanker in every one of their eyes at the best of times, but if we can make it work, there's that magic, and that box set, it will look and it will sound fantastic. I've got the masters. It sounds incredible. I mean, they were the best British band. Oh God, you've got me going waffling on about the Heads now. They were the best British band at that time. They can still knock it out of the park live now, but I don't think they'll ever, recording wise, they'll ever reach, say, Undecided records. So I'm very excited about that.
Cool. Yeah. And when's that happening?
Well, I was hoping it was going to happen this year, but it's probably going to be early 22.
Yeah.
But the other one's out in June, the first album, Relaxing With, Silver Jubilee edition with a silver border.
Yeah.
God, I went to town on that.
Good. That's exciting. So yeah, just one more time. Let's have another look at this.
I stuck all of those bloody sleeves together.
Yeah. 500 times.
Tell me about it. Jesus, if anyone wants a test pressing. Oh no, I haven't got any.
To be honest, this is probably the last thing I bought at Record Store Day. That was a Record Store Day release.
Oh well, thank you.
And it says 2012. Was it that year? I don't know.
Yeah, because we'd done. I think that was the year that we.
And it was
yeah, no, that was that year, 2012, because they were still playing. I'm still trying to convince them to do a new album.
Right, yeah. So I bought it. Black Cat Records, 14 quid. Yeah.
Exactly, because he did buy stuff from us. He bought, yeah, he would say to us, because he got on really well with Chris, because Chris is from down that way. Chris at Forte, he's from down that way, Devonshire upland or type thing, and him and Phil got on really well, and yeah, he would take our stuff. He'd probably take some cargo stuff, and he'd probably take some PS stuff. But
this is possibly one of the last few years that he really embraced buying records for Record Store Day, and after that, he started doing what I was talking about earlier, which was the reducing the stock in the shop and making it more about a local thing, and making it a day for the local people to come to his shop, and there'll be a band playing and whatever else. And people travel. You know, it's a 45-minute drive for me, but I always went on Record Store Day for that.
That's about the closest drive to a record shop for me now, anyway. 45 minutes.
So one day I'll open a record shop down there. Someone's got to.
Don't. It's a world of hell.
Yeah, no, I won't. Record that people wouldn't think that you would like. Come on, show us a record. Talk turkey.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, even from your brief experience working in distribution, all music's kind of there. I mean, I've got Kylie records, but that's Australian. Bingo. I loved loads of acid house stuff. Loved it. Techno. I love techno. I love I think Warp's early this decade. Warp. Maybe 1990s Warp is almost untouchable for a label.
You're a big Maximo Park fan.
No, that's rubbish. It's like their stab at Britpop, isn't it? It's their stab at Britpop.
That's a Warp record.
Yeah, no, actually, I take it back. That's not my bag. I don't like Britpop. But early Warp stuff I love, and because of doing the job, you get to meet these people. You go, when Metallica played in Sheffield, I went to Sheffield, and it was still Fon Records then, and I remember turning up pissed to say hello. I've been in the pub and it's this strong beer. Well, I want to go and say hello to Fon Records. I work with them. Walked in there, and Rob Mitchell wasn't there. He was one of the founders, and he was really nice. He was really into Voivod, actually. So we talk about Voivod. And he wasn't there, but this guy behind the counter was there called Dennis. And he goes, "Oh, I've been waiting to meet you." And I said, "Where's your toilet?" And he just went in the toilet, came out. "Hello, I've got to go now." Terrible, terrible thing to do. But I met Dennis years later. He ended up working at Greyhound when I worked there. And then he probably worked at Southern when you did, actually.
What's his name?
Dennis Summersgill.
Yeah. With one N. Dennis with one N.
Oh, Denise, and I hope he's watching this.
Yeah. Dennis with one N.
But yeah, he was that. So I really like that Warp stuff. I like some of the drum and bass stuff. I mean, again, it's just music. I like music. I like classical stuff. Hold on, I've got to let the cat through. How do you think? Come here, bastard. Out you go. And then what else? Avant-garde, I love a bit of that. I mean, in the mid-90s, I'd gone off rock and I'd read The Wire, and that's when I really got into my odd bod stuff, which is fine. It's great,
We all went through a phase of that.
But rock music was so bland then. There was nothing with edge, and I suppose Rocket from the Crypt had just signed and over here, and they were doing all right, but boring. And there was all that hardcore scene down San Diego way, but yeah. So I like ECM records. I like jazz. I like lots of jazz now. Jazz seems to be where I'm dipping my toe most.
Well, what I want to say on that front, then, my top tip for anyone because I'm a toe dipper with jazz as well. Yeah. But I would say that International Anthems label is my.
Oh my God!
I love that.
The packaging as well. Oh my God!
Yeah, exactly.
I really liked that Rob Mazarek record they did last year. Yeah. It was really good. Yeah. And the odd thing being, when in the mid-90s, I was label manager for Thrill Jockey at Cargo, and we couldn't sell those records and Isotope 217 records for toffee then. But now they're like, oh, brilliant. But it doesn't matter. But that there was one record that came out, British bloke, and it was an instrumental one. But it's really, the music's incredible. Alabaster. Oh shit, I can't remember it. It's there in a pile in front of the deck. But I thought, oh, I'll check out his vocal stuff. And it's horrible. I don't like his vocal at all. But the instrumentation, the instrumental, it's absolutely this lush soundscapey kind of, yeah.
It's interesting.
But yeah, so
it's a Chicago-based label, right? So they've got your man there, Isotope fella, but they've also got Jeff Parker from Tortoise releasing records.
Yeah.
And more.
Well, Jeff Parker was in Isotope 217 as well.
Right, of course. So, but you've got More Mother is on the. Fuck. Oh bollocks! I've got the albums. I can't remember the name. Entanglement, something or other. Whatever that those two.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think the album's called "Who Are You," in particular, is the one that I really like.
Where is it?
Go on, dig it up. Irreversible.
Well, I've got that one.
Yeah, Irreversible.
Oh no, that's the one I meant. Alabaster de Plume.
Yeah. What great packaging though. Look at the Obi strip and everything.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And also all the inner sleeves are the same on all the releases. It's quite simple, isn't it? It's good.
It's not difficult to do, but it's hard to implement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. But I mean, I did think about that, and it's really difficult. I mean, I love On You Sound, but then if people knew me, they'd know that. This one I did like, but this was bought after a night at Pete Keeley's house.
Okay.
Soul to Soul, Back to Life.
Yeah, it's good though. That's a good part.
Yeah, but I love singles. I mean, yeah, 7-inch singles, blah blah blah. But there's Dub. I like this one. Did pick a few out for this.
Cool.
Ed Rush and Nico.
Oh,
No U-Turn.
Classic SRD behaviour. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that's like British thrash metal, really, in a way. Techno, British thrash techno. This, I really liked this. Billy Ray Martin doing Throbbing Gristle's Persuasion.
Whoa. Okay.
It's amazing. The remixes are just mental. Yeah, it's just, yeah, that's a bit, yeah, but that's just this wild, but that's from 1993. Bloody hell. So I kind of was dabbling with all of that stuff then, listening to that. 93, I lived in Putney, so I'd walk to work around the corner, and I'd end up walking past Beggar's Banquet in Putney. Chris, who works at Rough Trade now, used to work there, and they'd have all these records, they'd be like $2.99. So you think, oh well, I'll check that out.
Chris from like Todd.
Oh yeah, the Summers.
Yeah, is that the Chris you're talking about?
Lovely man.
Yeah, really nice guy. Yeah,
he's a good drummer too.
Yeah, we played with his recent band in Guildford.
Oh, Old Boy. Did you play with Old Boy?
Yeah.
Oh, what are they like live?
It was a funny night. Put it that way. Yeah, it was a very strange night. That yeah, it was really weird actually. We got a message from someone about. I don't really want to talk about it on camera.
Okay, are you going to do one with him? You should do one with him.
Yeah, I might get in touch with him. Yeah, I've tried to get some other people that have said that. Yeah. Anyhow, so by the way, the reason that Simon keeps mentioning a fella called Pete Keeley is that I sort of vaguely know him as well because we worked at SRD together briefly. So that's why it just keeps coming up if anyone's interested. And he was a nice fella. Yeah. Okay, so I'm about to get to favourite 10-inch, which is the last one. But I'd quite like to talk about Australian music because it's something that you're clearly bursting to talk about, and I am.
Sorry.
No, I am as well. No, it's cool. And I was warned again that Australian music was your thing. So I've got one record here because I want you to do the talking.
Okay. Bring it on.
I picked one of my favourites, and it's a reissue, so I don't care. I don't care about reissues, and it's this one here.
Oh.
So,
right. Be back in a second. Hold on.
Oh no. So yeah, Venom P Stinger. Absolutely love this record, and he's probably gone off now to go buy boxes and boxes of rare Venom P Stinger records.
No, it's context. It's in the context of that.
You're gonna put a hat on with corks.
Right. I don't know where you want to start, because I could go on for days, as I'm sure you've been warned. When I started at Shigaku, I was open to this world of Australian music. I'd heard The Birthday Party. I'd heard In Excess, both good. I quite liked In Excess. Obviously, I'd heard of Kylie, very nice. But there was things, this Australian stuff, there's this world of underground music that is so far away from everywhere else. It has its own organic growth in different ways. I suppose, I mean, every day I hear something from then, that makes me go, oh, why didn't I get that then? Or why haven't I got that? And again, down to compilation, I've got stacks of Australian compilations. I just love it. It seemed to me to be truly underground. There was the scene, and I went to live there as well, and I was welcomed like a returning, I don't know, holiday maker.
Where did you live in Australia?
Melbourne primarily. I went to Perth to start with. I didn't like Perth. It was very clean and clinical. I did go to Sydney a few times. Sydney reminded me too much of London, which I mean, we're talking 30 years ago. But Melbourne just had something about it that everything was there. Some of it was kind of like guttery, Neanderthal in ways, and it was still finessing itself. And then there was other aspects of it which were far beyond anything I'd heard or seen or experienced anywhere else. Not that I'd been in that then. I hadn't been to America at that point. I'd only been to Europe a couple of times. And it was just amazing, mind-blowing. I mean, prior to that, I did have an awful lot of Australian music in my head and my ears and my collection. You know, things like God, my pal 7-inch, possibly the greatest 7-inch of all time. Scientists blew my mind. The Birthday Party were my introduction to the Stooges, because I'd heard, you know, your Iggy Pop, Lust for Life, Passenger growing up, but you didn't hear the Stooges, not in Monmouth, not with people I hung out with. And so I go to college and I hear this Birthday Party Peel session that my friend played me, and it's his fault. And they do a version of Loose. I was like, whoa, what's that? And then from that, Stooges. But then you go to Melbourne, Stooges are like Prime Minister down there. You know, it's amazing. But so, I mean, Venom P Stinger, I could start there. I mean, I saw them one of the last times I was.
You saw them?
When I was there, I saw them play in 93, 92. They played at my local pub. I lived literally 100 yards from where they played. And I used to go there every week. And I think it was May 92. And we'd been to the football. We'd left, no, what's it? I'd been to the football. I'd left the Aussie Rules football at the MCG. I got the tram along Swan Street to where I lived, which is near the Great Britain Hotel. Venom P Stinger were playing. I watched them. Mind-blowing, because it was just like Nick Turner, you know, the sounds he pulls with the minimal of playing. Oh, amazing. And who was the singer that night? Can't remember. But and then me and a friend, then we got another tram right down to St Kilda to go and see the Beast Suburban at another venue. I mean, that was amazing. I mean, that was brilliant, you know. But Venom P. Stinger, Walking Around, is the song. It's just like, it's just primal.
That's just a 7-inch as well, isn't it? Walking Around.
Yeah. That's Meet My Friend. Is that one Meet My Friend, that album? Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. So damn good.
So what I ran off to get was that. The Sick Things.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Which is basically, I think it's slight tied in with Venom P. Stinger. I can't remember what now. I think Dougal, the vocalist, something to do with Venom P. Stinger. But anyway, it's that same kind of bludgeoning, brutal, unrelenting.
Yeah. It goes. Dougal Mackenzie.
Yeah, that's it. Dougal's the singer for Sick Things.
Yeah, so he's on this.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
cool.
Yeah. It's totally abrasive and nasty. And they have a song called I Like Pills, which is from what, 1980 something, early 80s. And friends of mine that I got to know when I lived in Melbourne would play in iterations of the Sick Things. And it was pretty wow. And other bands, there was like it's all this huge convoluted family tree out there in Melbourne especially, and it was just amazing, lovely.
That was my brother lives in Brisbane, so I've been there.
I never got to go to Brisbane.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times, and
it's hot.
But you end up reading about the Saints, and I think they're from like Ipswich or someplace or somewhere like that, like about inland. And we went there because my youngest son is really into manga comics. There's a really good manga comic shop there. So we go there and you like look at this place that the Saints came from, and you're like, God damn, it's no wonder. No wonder.
I know, exactly. But how on earth did that happen?
I know.
12,000 miles away from.
Yeah.
I mean, some people say that their records, I mean, I have got demos of theirs from 73, 74, so who knows? But I mean, isn't it amazing how it organically grew there? I mean, Brisbane had other bands, like there's this band, The Fun Things, and they did a one-off single, and then two of them went off to join, or one of them went off to join the Hoodoo Gurus, who became a massive worldwide phenomenon, really. But the fun thing, that era of Australia where the Saints started, they were like the first, I guess. I think I will be proven wrong. I'm sure people might watch this and go, "Oh, you got that wrong, you anchor." But I think the Saints were one of the first, and there's this huge. It's termed murder punk because of I don't know why. And there's all these really obscure and rare singles from that era, from 76 to 81. And again, they're compiled on some of the compilations that I've got. Some are bootlegs and some are official licensed. One's on that CD I mentioned earlier. You know, these early primal rock and roll stabs from Australia that I just love. And then it just flows.
Yeah, if you read about history from any of those, like especially like 70s bands, and even including like the Minutemen and bands like that, is that they would see pictures of bands and imagine what they sounded like, rather than actually hear them.
Yeah.
So a band like the Minutemen are like, okay, yeah, no, this is punk, or whatever. Yeah. And then maybe the Saints were doing the same. It's like, oh, this is probably what the Stooges sound like, looking at the photo.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose at the same time as the Saints, there was Radio Birdman, which were proper Stooges acolytes, I'd imagine, because Dennis Tech from Detroit went there, formed Birdman with them.
But I think that the lineage is carried all the way through to now in Australia, because one of the records we listen to a lot here is in this house, should I say, is Primary Colours, the Eddie Curran Suppression record.
Oh, it's amazing.
I think it's a brilliant record, right? But it sounds so Australian. So
it couldn't be anywhere else, could it? That wouldn't come from Worthing, would it?
No.
That wouldn't come from Newcastle. That is south coast of Australia.
Exactly. And so if you put that record on here, Stan, my oldest son, who's 20, he listens to it and he's like this is so Australian, and he sort of nailed it the other day. He was talking about it and he was like, it sounds like a drone. Like it's not like a rock band, it's more of a drone. Like they're playing is kind of just sort of, you know, because he's a guitar person, he's listening to that and he's like, yeah, it's the guitar player is droning, not like rock.
Well,
different.
That's definitely down to things like the guy, one of the driving forces of that band, Mikey Young. He kind of in masses of other bands. He was in that band Total Control, and they have that similar kind of spin as well. But then there's other bands like Oz Mutants. They have a kind of like a weird underlying kind of repetitive, it's almost like they're kind of krautrock, isn't it? That Aussie drone in the background of that modern, of definitely the modern stuff. I mean, when I was there, it was more Stooges, Dead Boys, Motorhead, Rocky Erickson kind of thing. But there's definitely that weird kind of change must have happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's
late 90s, early noughties.
And like fair play, they've got their sound.
I mean, they'll, you know, it must be impossible for them to think about touring, you know, because records don't sell enough to make the tours worthwhile. So, you know, they need festivals to hook that type of thing in and tour around that. That's, I think I did that with I've done that with a couple of records, put records out by Australians. They don't sell that much, but if there's a UK, I mean, I still do put records out by Australians, don't get me wrong. But if there's a European festival or something that kind of hooks them in, then before Brexit fucked that totally, they would be able to come over here and you do a couple of dates here, and then they go to Europe, and it you know, wouldn't totally destroy them.
I think actually Henge by Total Control is one of my favourite records out of Australia, full stop, let alone recent.
That is a great record. That is a good one. Who put that out? Someone re-released that over here. Was it Ellis? Static Shock? Did he do it, or one of those? Or was it? Was it Luke Younger did it? Did he do it on Alter?
Alter did release a Total Control record, but not that.
Yeah, he did the last one, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. That's a good record. That.
Yeah, it's a great record. Where are we? Okay, we're on to the last thing here. And I mean,
we could go for another 3 days about Australia if you want.
Yeah, but you know, come on, it's almost lunchtime, man.
God, it is.
Let's talk about 10 inches. Hit me with a favourite 10-inch.
Favourite 10 inches. I was looking through my 10-inch box. I found all the early Man's Ruin ones that I worked on that are now worth stupid money. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm just going to sell them. I dug this out. Leaving Trains. Do you know them?
Yeah, is that the promo corner in the cut?
Oh, of course, mate. Of course. I paid nothing for this. But it's just it's just horrible. It's just nasty. It's great. And I think this came out, after the Guns N' Roses album Lose Your Illusion. Right. So it's called Loser Illusion Part 0. Amazing. But the sleeves just, I mean, hold on. Yeah.
Oh no, nudeness. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I found things like again, the 10-inch is much maligned and fiscally understandable, but aesthetically, wow, look at that. I mean, look at this Lord High Fixers 10-inch. They did quite a few 10-inches, I think, Lord High Fixers, but that's like 16 minutes worth of just like this weird skronked out garage rock that shops can't display, people can't afford to make, and only nerds collect. Thank you very much.
Do you sell many 10-inches through Forte?
No, not really. No one does them anymore. Too difficult. They are too expensive to make. A bit like the 7-inch. I mean, the 7-inch is now ridiculous to make, and it's retailing for £7. I mean, who can afford that? The 7-inch was, you know, in the 90s, you'd get major label 7-inches for 99p, which is great and all, but maybe that's what kind of killed the indie 7-inch, because the indie couldn't keep up with that.
I've got,
and then,
like Domino, for instance, like as a young person, like late teens or whatever, you'd buy Sebadoh 7-inches for 99p. that sort
I
of stuff.
probably numbered those.
Yeah.
I worked at Domino when he did those 7 inches, and I probably numbered those. Yeah.
And they were good because they were cheap, and it'd be like, oh yeah, I'll check out whatever this.
Yeah.
And it was a good way of going, okay, but that isn't needed now because you can just watch it on YouTube or whatever. So you don't, that little taster perhaps isn't needed. But the price is insane. They are like
it's horrible.
A fetish rather than a
Well, they don't, and they don't sell enough to kind of almost make it worthwhile. I mean, I've got thousands of 7 inches here, thousands. I love them. I mean, I got sent one. I got sent this beautiful. This was a gift from my old boss, actually. I got sent this beautiful MC5 single. Sorry, I am showing off now, but I only got it in the post last week, and it's one that was in his record box by his desk, the first MC5 single, or the second MC5 single. And I coveted it then 30 years ago. And he just put it in the post and sent it to me. And I did play it, and it sounds amazing. Yeah. But you can, in those days, we would bring, things like Revelation, Sub Pop, Estrus, and Australian singles like Hard On singles, God singles. You bring 500 or 600 in at a time, and they'd be gone within 3 days. Like, phone up Rough Trade or Vinyl Solution or Allen's in Wigan. Oh, we've got the new shipment of Revelation in. What you got? Oh, we got Youth of Today, Chain of Strength, Bold, 50 of each. Be like, and
Allen's,
they'd be.
I remember the Allen's advert in
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Really
and actually Mickey Penguin would come to Shigaku, buy loads of those singles, and then take them and sell them at gigs, the punk gigs.
So Mickey Penguin is someone that essentially employed me at SRD. He interviewed me for my job at SRD, and he was a lovely guy. He had metal in his head, where he rubbed over the head outside.
He had metal in his head, but he always hated me for liking metal.
And he always wore white jeans.
Yeah. In a distribution network, a sensor, whatever. White jeans, Mickey.
Did you ever know his number plate for his car?
I do, and it was that Mini, wasn't it?
Black Mini, yeah.
And it was wasn't it something to do with his date of birth or SRD?
SRD and the postcode.
SRD N17. That's it. Yes. He was totally dedicated to that job. Yeah. Absolutely. He was
really loyal. I got a feeling that company had been loyal to him at a certain point in his life. And
he had a brain hemorrhage when I knew him in '89, and they just stuck by him. And not a lot of companies would do that, especially in this industry.
Exactly. So I think he was really loyal back, and he was a lovely bloke. Yeah, I really like him. So I hope one day I'd like to see him again.
He's got the most amazing record collection. Unbelievable records, because he's really into dub and obviously all the southern stuff, the crass stuff and all that. But some of it, and he's been to Jamaica a bunch, and I think more than I have anyway. But he's got loads of kind of dub that's worth a tidy packet, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Mickey Penguin, goddamn.
Mickey. King Penguin Distribution, he called himself.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That was great. That was you'd go to a gig, there'd be this stall at the back, there'd be all this punk stuff. I'd be like, oh, I'll get that. Brilliant.
Good guy. Do you have anything else you want to show or talk about? And by the way, one of the labels you do is Riding Easy. And because I was looking it up and it reminded me I need to get that Randy Holden record.
Yeah, it's good.
I really like it.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, so
it's good. That one, because it's been bootlegged so many times, when the guy from the label negotiated the reissue, he said to me, he goes, yeah, he wants to see every LP made, and he signs every LP and they number it. Randy Holden sits there and signs every single sleeve before it goes to the plant.
No, that's all that they were signed. How many did they make? Do you know?
I think they've done 2,000 so far on vinyl, but I think there's a repress coming, because we just sold out just like that, and they've done a nice job on it. It's not as great as everyone said. I can't believe I just said that. It is a brilliant record. I like Vincebus of Upton.
Right.
Shit,
Like,
I just said it.
So you're like Malcolm McLaren's thing about don't let the people see the band. Can sometimes work with records?
I don't know about that. I think it was unissued or something, wasn't it? Or it was issued in such a small amount, and I've got so many records that sound like that. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of records that have that early 70s kind of stoner sound. Hundreds of them from the 70s, and loads of bands that aped it in the 80s and 90s. Do I need to hear it? I played it a couple of times. I do like it, but is it where my head's at for music now? That Alabaster de Plume I probably listen to more than the Randy Holden.
Right, yeah.
But it's still a great record, but it's just maybe I'm trying to listen to as much else as I can that I haven't heard. That's the thing. Yeah. And that's a quote I remember hearing John Peel saying. He's always trying to hear something that he's not heard before. That always rings true, I think. Because you always want to hear that thing, oh, wow, what's that? And that's really important.
Right, yeah. So you're always trying to discover the new thing. So other labels you do, just before we sign off, it seems unfair not to mention the other ones I've written down. GBV, the Guided by Voices stuff.
3 albums a year, thank you very much.
Yeah.
New one out next Friday. Thank you.
Yeah, and that comment probably stands at any point in the year.
Yeah, I know. It's a seasonal affliction. I'm not a massive GBV fan. And there's friends of mine, a friend of mine who used to work at Select This, used to make me mini disc compilations of GBV and Minutemen, actually. He tried to convince me to get into the Minutemen. I'm not a massive fan of the Minutemen. And I like GBV. I like, when I was at Domino for a little bit, and they did a single, the Crown Prince single, which is like 7 tracks on a 7-inch. Oh, it was amazing. But then there's so much. It's so much. Someone's got to do a kind of a 27-track best of. That'll prime you up for that. But Alien Lanes I really like. Propeller is amazing. He's got another band, surprise, he's got another band called Cub Scout Bowling Pin. Okay. And they're more power pop. And they've got that kind of not raspberries, but there's a 70s, 80s kind of US underground power pop. Maybe the Shoes kind of twang to it. And it works with his vocal really well. There's a single came out, but there's an album coming in 3 months.
Thank you.
That's really...
You've got Stolen Body and Cardinal Fuzz.
Yeah, we do some of their stuff for them. They do a lot of mail order stuff direct. Stolen Body went proper, then came back to us. He does this artist Slift, whom...
Yeah, that's a big one, right?
That's a really good record. And
they're called Uncommon. What's it called?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Black and white sleeve. Every time it comes in, it goes out. So when's the repress coming?
Yeah, what blew them up, I think, was they did one of those, is it KEXP sessions?
That's it. And then it got posted to some King Gizzard and OC's fan pages. And you could see these people melting down. Oh, why are they doing it? It's like, fucking hell, mate, it's music. Yeah, Get in it. And
that seemed to blow that band up, I think. Yeah.
And Cardinal Fuzz, Dave, he's named that after a Heads song. So look, Heads bingo, time 2. He's done a couple of the Heads reissues of their CDR and their rehearsal releases. Really does a lovely package, gets it out there, and keeps their name going. But he also does some co-releases with Feeding Tube, which is Byron Coley's label in the States. And some of the stuff he brings in is amazing. He also picked up and pressed Alison Cotton's records. Did those 2 a couple of years ago. I think someone's steamed in and whipped them away from him of late, which is a bit of a shame because he put the impetus into that. But he does what he does, and that needs, and so does Stolen Bodies kind of does what and that needs to be, those people need to be around doing things. And,
yeah. That's why, and I think the same for Night School. I have that.
Michael, wow. he,
Yeah.
have we got, how many days have we got left?
Nice?
He's got so much stuff coming, and he's got so much catalogue that's deep. I would say his linchpin would be Molly Nielsen, and that blows me away every time I listen to. I think 7 or 8 different Molly Nielsen records in catalogue, and each one is slightly different to the other. And there was one, I think it was History. That's just amazing, bit of kind of ice cool, synth driven but urgent kind of modern music. Yeah. But he's got loads of great stuff coming, and he's doing a reissue label.
Oh right, so, yeah. He's in Lowest Form with Luke Younger from Alter.
That's right.
Guitarist.
That's right. The thing is, he came and stayed here when the kids were about. I mean, he came and stayed here about 10 years ago. And he's like really nice, mild-mannered. Maybe 7 years ago, learned to play Magic the Gathering with Fred. You know, blah 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 blah. And then I see videos of him in apostle mode with pink rubber gloves on, and they're going. And then I speak to him, and in fact, I'm speaking to him this afternoon about some reissues. And are you going to speak to him?
I don't really know him. I have spoke to Luke, so I might try and touch him. And sort of, I don't really know.
He's brilliant. I like Michael. He's he writes a lot of the mail order stuff for Monorail, and when I don't see much of the Forte stuff in there, I just give him shit, and then he gives me shit back, and you know, it's record company banter. Yeah,
it's good.
But no, he's brilliant. He's one of our most important labels.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good to know. This is just like one bloke. It's just, I mean, you know, it's good. I like that. And there's others. You've got Superior Viaduct, Erased Tapes.
That's Erased Tapes is a huge scenario for us. I mean, Nils Fram, massive for us.
Yeah. So there's some, and that's just the list I've got, and I know there's probably others. So. Anyhow, it's been really good talking.
Thank you. Sorry, I think I've raved on way too long. So please edit out all the licentious shice.
There's never any editing in this in this. So because I don't know how to. So tough.
Oh dear. Whoops. I'm going to get a phone call from AIM tomorrow. No, when this airs, the day after this airs.
Yeah.
You really have taken the piss here.
But thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for giving time and chatting. It's been really fun.
No worries. Thank you for inviting me to waffle on. Not so much about Australia, not so much about all the 7 inches that I pulled out, and not so much about manufacturing and what a nightmare it is, and not so much about the bad side of music distribution. Yeah,
but yeah. Well, you did
more about the music, which is what it should be.
Exactly. You did say to me the other day that you had 27 releases at the pressing plant. Stressful.
That's where my hair's all gone. You know.
Yeah.
That and children. Yeah. But no, it's difficult. Pressing records is very, very difficult at the moment. You have to finagle your way through, you know, and find ways to. Oh, you've got some capacity left. Can I do 500 of this there? Oh, right. How does August sound? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So we got 27 records coming out in August, but nothing till then. No, but you know, because we make Michael's stuff as well, and that kind of gets caught up in it, and our stuff and that stuff. And
yeah. Pain in the ass. Well, I'm sure it'll come out in the wash. So what I'll do, we're going to wave, and I'm going to press stop. But we'll carry on for a minute or two if you want to talk about anything else for the hell of it. Okay. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.